this is called your lead leg. As your lead leg comes up, all right, once you what you do is called handbrake. You are going sideways in an aggressive manner towards the catcher, all right? So let's have you guys be the catcher so you can see it this way. So if I come here, I'm holding a guy on, but let's say I'm not even worried about holding a guy on. We just throw from the stretch. So I come here. My job is I'm going to come up here, and my knee is going to bend a little bit, but never should your knee bend to where if you drew a straight line up from your toe and your heel, never should your knee bend beyond that line. Does that make sense? Because you're collapsing your back leg too much. So if I come here and I go here, now as I handbrake, this is called handbrake, when I take the ball out of the glove, as I handbrake, I'm making an aggressive movement towards the catcher. And when I'm on a mound, it's easier to make an aggressive movement downhill than it is flat, because I cannot get as much thrust with my back leg, which is something that you guys will start working on, but real honestly, you're not going to probably master for a number of years, okay? So you have a lot of moving parts in pitching. So that's another reason why you're on a mound. You want to get good extension with this leg, all right? Now, do you want this leg, the lead leg, to come out like this, or do you want it to come out like this? Further or shorter? Shorter? You said, well, it's further, okay? Here's your mound again. What you want to do is build up what's called, and again, we're using a lot of terms, and I'm really kind of speaking more towards the coaches who will remember this and work with this, but I'll try to come out and watch you guys, and we'll work on tweaking some things. Coach Dole's already sent me some videos of you guys, which I've looked at, and here's what I saw for most of you guys. You're coming here, and you're throwing like this. You're throwing flat, or with your back straight up. You're opening up your hips too soon, etc. What we'll work on today is this. We're going to pretend like we're on a mound, and again, it's harder because you're not on a mound. I'm going to want you guys to come set to where you're balanced, okay? And I want the ball to be right here. I'll show you. So I'm here. I always have my hand on the ball, all right? Now, I may come in here, and you guys aren't throwing sliders or curves or change-ups or you're throwing fastballs, I guess. But I'm always going to have my hand on the ball, because when I pitched, I only threw in the stretch when I had a runner on base. Otherwise, I was in the windup. I would say you guys maybe want to start just throwing in the stretch, because when you start doing this, you start adding this in here. To get to here, which is the same way as getting to here, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of ways for things to go wrong. Does that make sense, Coach?
Yep.
So I would say, for right now, start in the stretch. And what you want to do is you want to come set about right here. Some guys come set down here, some guys up here. You know why I like you to come set here? Why? Runners on base, why? Okay. Why?
So you can...
Right. If I'm going to throw the ball, I'm going to pick a guy off, my arm's got to come back. I'm going to have to step off and throw. All right? If my hand is down here, I got to come up as I'm stepping off, which slows down how fast I can get my arm back to throw. Does that make sense? You following that, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
If I have it up here, I'm going to have to drop my arm to bring it back to throw. So I want the ball about where I'm going to just come straight back, where if I'm going to pick a guy off, I can throw and I go and I throw like that. Does that make sense? So there's a reason to my madness, so to speak. You come set here. I like to keep the ball about in here, because if I'm here, in order to throw, I'm probably going to have to bring my arm out a little bit. You see how you get in a habit of throwing from the same way every time. All right? So I come set. I'm always looking at the catcher. All right? Particularly if there's not a runner on base. And you know what, guys? If I was pitching to one of your catchers and they could count on me throwing the ball right in here every time, there's no offense to any catchers here, and I couldn't have done it when I was your age either, they're not going to throw a lot of guys out. So don't worry a lot about holding runners on. If they get crazy, I'll work with your coach on some plays you can do to at least nab them every now and then. But worry about throwing to the catcher. So you're keeping your eye on the catcher, you're coming set, and then what I want you to do is you're going to lift up. I have to do it. You're going to come